Oh, feels like I'm all fancy, like I have a talk show. Man, I want a talk show. Don't worry, I'm not gonna read from my notes because that'd be weird. It's like really sunny today. Right. Oh, that's the wrong page. Hi everybody. This shall be my I can't talk. May video. There are a couple of reasons why I decided to do this, and I want to lead into it kind of. I have been listening to another podcast, of course. I need to recommend it to all of you. My friend's fiance, and hopefully also my friend. His name is JD, and he started this podcast with his best friend, Andrew, and it's called Up Until Now. I'm on the second. Is it the first? Was it the second? I don't know. It was the one after the intro, and it's basically adulting. They're going to talk about things that aren't really discussed in school, or you just have to pick up along the way what's happening or who's in your life, or how do you manage finances and scary stuff like that. That was something that I was like, whoa, I'm going to really enjoy this. And May 13th is coming up. I know that's not as significant. Maybe you have something on May 13th. I don't know. Thought this would be the perfect time to use this platform to share a little bit about my story. 12 years ago, my 12-and-a-half-year-old self was sitting in Boston Logan Airport waiting to see what life had in store for me. I had finished crying a couple days before, just the preteen, really angry with her parents for doing this. To give you context, they had decided that they were going to move my brother and I to India. I wasn't prepared for what moving would be like. I was born in India, but fully brought up in America. My earliest memories are from living on the East Coast. I had only visited twice or thrice. It was always family, really quick summer trip. Little did I know that I would live in India for 10 years. Dang, I'm almost 25 now. So 10 out of 25, that's like 40% of my life. Of course, it has changed me and who I am. Whenever this day comes up every year, I always reflect. This time I thought I'd just talk about it. Also, I'm recording this on May 10th. 12 years ago today, I got my black belt. I don't do karate anymore. It has given me so much confidence, strength, internally and externally. I've never been scared, really. So I have like this list that I want to talk about today. It's 10 things I learned from my experience being double cultured and actually having the opportunity to do that. Opportunity as in being immersed in the country I was from. Also, how cool is my workspace? I love it. And now that there's sun. Number one, I've written down adjusting. Moving to a whole new place that you weren't used to meant a lot of adjusting. So hard. Second, culture shock. In America, I was always super outspoken, like how I am now, right? If you know me, just really extroverted, just hyper, on my feet, running around. I closed it off when I moved. I wasn't that America return NRI. I shut off. It was a lot. It was overwhelming. I decided to blend in because I didn't want to stand out. My accent was made fun of. 13-year-old in 8th grade, I decided to just fake it. It was hard. It was scary. I used to go to the bathroom and just like cry, want to go back home. The sheer population of that school was crazy, but it's also one of the things that I love about my life there. I never expected it to turn me into the opposite that I was. My third point, I was tired of pretending. That's where my motto for life, being unapologetic and fearlessly myself, comes from. Sure, I code switch. When I'm talking to my friends in school and college, I still subconsciously tone down the accent. I don't know how it happens, but it just happens. At home, it was always normal. The outside world was what was different. I just wanted to be the same way in and out, so I did the best I could. What's cool though, I picked up Tamil pretty fast. My parents have spoken it to me all my life, and so I've always understood it, but speaking was new, and I watched a lot of movies, a lot of Hollywood. When I spoke Tamil, people were confused when I spoke English because they're like, is this the same person? I'm a little rusty now, but when I'm there, I know that I'll be fine. I don't have an accent when I speak Tamil, which is something I'm really, really proud of. Tamil pesna, Tamil mari pesna, and that's important to me. Wow, I got sidetracked. Number 4, I didn't want to keep my past in the past. Along with being unapologetic, I wanted to make sure that whoever I was in elementary school and middle school translated through high school and college. The way I organized things, led things, the way I talked about what I believed in, my study system, seeing hands-on with a lot of the work I do, my notes that are all colored. Whatever I used to do, I wanted to keep doing that, even when the situation changed, especially when it came to school and college. Number 5, sports. Karate and soccer were a big part of my life here. Recreational basketball, but I didn't feel like I was good at it, so I wasn't as into it, even though I loved the NBA. I needed that physical outlet for myself again. My coach thought I had it in me, motivated me. I could be good. I don't know if I ended up being good, but it became life. It's taught me so much. Working with a team, stamina, endurance, physical strength and skills, having discipline. I don't know if I hadn't moved back would I have ever played basketball. So I'm just so thankful for that experience in my life. 6 is family. I didn't really have a relationship with my extended family when I lived here. Maybe it was because of the lack of communication at the time, but the funny thing is I only speak Tamil to my family. I know English, but I made it a point that I would always just speak Tamil with them. Speak too fast or do something weird in English. It was a way for me to actually learn Tamil better. I loved my cousins for who they are, and if I even have like a picture of them, aren't they adorable? This was last summer when I visited. So family is something I'm thankful for. Family drama, not so much. 7, friends. The community I've been blessed with from school and college. I can't imagine my life without them. They have really shaped who I am, accepted me for who I am. Sure, we make fun of each other all the time, but the fact that I can learn from them and they can learn from me has added so much value to my life. I don't know. There are no words to describe the friends that I have or the community that I've built over those 10 years. It's getting to the big, deep stuff now. Education. Remember I talked about adjusting, moving to a new system of education, and a lot of people in my life know that I'm very vocal about how I feel about the Indian education system. I only speak on behalf of myself and no one else. I'm very sensitive to different opinions and things like that, but it just wasn't for me because I know what it was like here, and I know people here, there are complaints of how the system is here too. But I just felt like I was restricted and I didn't get the exposure that I needed to know what I wanted to do at 18. Yeah, maybe I didn't take the extra effort. I pretty much went to school to play basketball every day, so that's that. It taught me a lot how to bypass things and find a me way to do things. It was interesting and I complain about it all the time, but it was an experience. I'm glad I had it. Don't want to go into like the depths of it all. I'm not pursuing architecture now, but I'm so thankful to have at least that creative expression in college. Teamwork experiences, high pressure situations. Yeah, I didn't sleep for 5 years. It was a roller coaster. 9 stereotypes. Like I said, when I moved to India, I didn't really have an idea of what it would be like. I didn't think it would be like the movies, because I know movies are movies. I felt like I did have an open mind. I never really used to compare lifestyle. A lot of people didn't treat me too different. I was receptive and open to talking about anything anybody wanted to talk about. And I would bring up things that I used to do, and like having walkers and just the middle school experience. And maybe it was the time that I moved at. Like I know now, especially with social media and stuff, people have a preconception of how things are. But at the time, it was just the unknown. Yeah. And it was also probably the age I moved at. Like if I moved later, then I would have been like, oh, what is this? I knew I didn't have a say, really. Always knew I was going to come back. I just didn't expect it to be so long. It's been an interesting life. Number 10, end it with something lighter. Living in America, I don't think I appreciated the seasons as much as a kid. Autumn was definitely beautiful, but winter was always my favorite. I loved summer. I love the sun, but I never knew real summer until I moved to India. I love extreme climate. I think I thrive in a temperature that keeps me alert. Here, it can be like mild, and I'm just like, why? It makes me dull, so I need like blazing sun or freezing cold. I am strange, I know. I could talk a lot about what it's like to have moved back and things that I've experienced in that sense. Oh, which is something podcast made me think of. So as a bonus point, I will talk about independence. I lived at home for college, and I took a year off after college and still lived with my parents. If I lived in America, I would have moved out earlier, become more financially independent. So that's something I'm still learning, which is why I really appreciate JD's podcast, because I feel like I'm going to learn so much. My first time on my own, and I have no idea how things work. like taxes and insurance and Social Security, and I'm voting for the first time this year, so that, and a lot of things like that. I have no idea. Ready to learn, but I feel like, what do you want to call it? Because I hopped countries. I didn't get that, and I wish I did. Again, I'm speaking only for myself. I know there are people in India who are perfectly capable of doing things on their own. It was just very sheltered in that way. The cooking part of it, like, I genuinely didn't want to learn how to cook unless I really had to. Other things that I didn't talk about is like politics. I never really got into Indian politics because it was too confusing for me. Always kept abreast of what was happening here. For the last part, to wrap up, what do I miss about living in India? Man, I scribbled this down. This is not pretty. Okay, I guess I get it. We're done with that. I miss sensory experiences of living there. From the colors, the sounds, the tastes, of course. It's so vibrant, really added to my personality. Like, it's in my blood, obviously, but being able to move and live in that culture shaped my life like nothing else. And I genuinely miss the things that my mom missed, which is why we moved back, right? I guess for like immigrants, it feels weird to have your kids grow up in a culture that you didn't grow up in. I guess they didn't want us to grow up thinking that we didn't have family, not going back in our 30s and being like, what is this country? I can't relate. I'm so thankful. At the time, I hated them for the decision. I mean, I was an angsty kid. It's just like, I am missing 8th grade. I won't be able to go to high school, but what am I getting at? I threw my thing away. I forgot what I was going to say. Everything from the streets to the people to seeing different walks of life and wondering what's their story. I miss driving. I miss driving so much. Oh my god. Both scooty and car. It's such an adventure and super thrilling to like drive in between all these vehicles. But here it's kind of boring. There's nothing. There's no obstacles. Just driving and listening to music and going super fast. I'm also thankful because it gave me drive to want to do good in the world, make social change, because I came face to face with people who didn't have the same privileges I did, knowing what was out there and knowing what people didn't have access to. Of course, I miss the people in my life. I miss being able to walk outside and go get stuff. Like, you need a car for everything here. I don't know, just thinking about it makes me smile so much. That I love about India. When I was there, I used to think about here, and now that I'm here, I'm thinking about there. So there's no winning. Always see myself as half and half. Grateful for every single experience that has led me to living the dream, studying to be who I want to be in the world. Reflecting has always been important to me because it grounds me, makes me feel more fortunate and driven to do what I want to do and respect everything that my family has provided for me. My brother and I, my brother's first gen. We are blessed for our lives, and I'm excited to see what we have in store, especially when he comes back. This is a lot, like so much. I don't know how long I was talking for. 32 minutes. 32 minutes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for listening, and I hope you got to know me a little better. I'll see you next month for my next video, or earlier if I do some quarantine stuff like I did last time. And I hope all of you are staying safe, taking care of yourselves, especially mentally. Hey, if you're not gonna take care of yourself, who is? I mean, I'm here. If you need anything, if you want to talk, even if you don't really know me, I am open to having conversation. I guess I'm done. Okay, bye.